Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about how gut microbes or microbiota um, plays a role in type 1 diabetes, or how it will play a role in other types of other immune diseases. Um, there has been years of um, experimenting and researching about how environment play a particular role in influencing the pathogenesis of type 1 diabetes, um, and how specific agents and other mechanisms play a role in this. But it's still been really ill defined. It hasn't been a specific cause um, of why type 1 diabetes occurs, or any other immune diseases related to this would occur. So we still don't understand all the factors that are related to this disease, or the cause of this disease. Um, there have been recent improvements, recent research on what leading causes of the disease, and the there are a lot of a lot of factors. The gut has been proven to be play a big factor in this. Um, the gut is linked to our immune system. It has a lot to do with it. The gut in itself is very complex. It's a very complex network. um, and basically, what type 1 diabetes is it's a disorder resulting from the autoimmune destruction of the beta cells in the pancreas. And this happens in genetically predisposed individuals. And there's other types of factors that have been said to be the cause of type 1 diabetes, such as childhood vaccines and early consumption of cereal and cow's milk instead of breastfeeding your kids. Viral infections, but none of these have been a definite cause leading to diabetes. Many researchers have come up with different hypotheses to link diabetes and environmental causes and environmental agents. There were a few. I read a paper on this, and it was a pretty interesting paper, very long, but they had many hypotheses relating gut microbia to diabetes, or relating environmental causes or environmental agents to diabetes, type 1 diabetes. Two of the hypotheses that stuck out to me there was one, and it was called like the perfect storm hypothesis, they said, and it took in consideration three different components. The gut microbiota, which constituent influenced by the environment, obviously. Genetic abnormalities in the regulation of immunity, of mucosal immunity, and then increased gut leakiness. That's one hypothesis they came up with. And another was it not only recognizes a role for microbes, but it implicates the importance of the gut, and it's called the old friend hypothesis. In this one, gastrointestinal microbes are introduced through dietary exposure, are noted for their ability to serve as direct inducers or regulators of the immune system of the gut microbiota. So those are just two hypotheses that I took from that. And like I said, the paper was very interesting. It had a lot of different hypotheses, but that's just two of those. What actually is gut microbiota? It's very complex, like I said earlier. It represents a microbial community within the body. It is capable of affecting health by contributing to nutrition, prevention of colonization of the host by pathogens, and the development and maintenance of the immune system. experimental evidence has suggested that the alterations in the gut microbiota are associated with a number of disorders attributed to an overly activated immune system, autoimmunity, such as ulcerative colitis, I think that's what it's called, or Crohn's disease, also including influence on type 1 diabetes. So, and that was also in the paper I read as well. One major effect of the gut, one of the biggest effects of the gut microbiota on the host's health is the colonization resistance. This is the ability to block a pathogen from creating a foothold within the gut, the environment of the gut. So that's one of the major effects of this gut microbiota. This property of the microbiota is kind of like a first line of defense for the immune system before the immune system reacts and elicits an antipathogen response associated with damage to self. They not only prevent damage caused by pathogens, but also influence local tissue repair and mechanisms in that area. So, the study of the gut microbiota or gut microbiome has advanced with new technology and new tools for assessing structure, function, and interrelations among the microorganisms in the gut. Also in the paper, they talked about that they realized that the gut microbiome can be heterogeneous among different populations in the gut, influenced by changes in different factors, external factors such as dietary use, environmental factors, states of health, intermicrobial and host assembly rules. But they found a lot of data on that, and they also said that there was an enormous amount of data done by the Human Microbiome Project. But the data is very limited because there's not very much support experimentally and not very much clinical data. And also, they were explaining, which I found interesting, that a lot of microbiome studies of the GI tract are based on stool collection, but it's very misleading or it can be potentially misleading and very limiting because the gut microbiota are not distributed uniformly throughout the GI tract. So because they exhibit heterogeneity, I forgot how to say that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. You can't determine a lot of the studies based on the stool samples because of that. So, but there's a lot of different new ways that they could do it. They could use more people to try to study this because it's not very well studied. They could use collect more samples, design the studies differently. Maybe it would help to try to figure out some more of the processes that they need to go through as far as the gut microbes affecting diabetes and having a big effect on diabetes and other immune diseases. So those are just some of the ways I feel like they could do a little bit better with that. But overall, I found this topic to be pretty interesting. Obviously, gut microbes are very important, play an important role in our immune system. And I thought just like if I looked up a few tips to have a healthier gut, and like eating a high fiber diet, eating on schedule, being hydrated, eating better meats, and no bad habits like smoking and a lot of caffeine. Those all can help contribute to a better environment for your gut and for your gut microbiota. So, all right. pretty much it.